Before EOS, we were going through a pretty drastic restructuring, reorganization of the company. I had been familiar with Traction. I'd read the book. I always say the intro to Traction is like if you peeled how I wanted to run my business out of my head and put it into a book, it'd be the introduction to Traction. So was always into the idea of EOS. So we were going through a restructuring of the company at the time, kind of trying to refine our identity. So we tried to self-implement. And that went, as most self-implementations go the first time you try to do it. We didn't really know what we were doing. I was the one that was implementing for us, and I also owned the company. So I was just making executive decisions, and that's not really how EOS is supposed to work. So after about a year of doing that, I was introduced to Garth, and we started using Garth as our implementer, and that's when things really started to click and work correctly. I had met a few other implementers, and great people, would hang out with them, would have dinner, would have a beer with them. I don't know if it would work with the implementer relationship. And then I met Garth, and I was like, I think this guy's energy works for me specifically, to help me get through this process. Because it's a delicate dance of, it kind of has to be the adult in the room, guide the conversation, and sometimes that means challenging me a little bit. And for me personally, it takes the right voice for me to be able to respond to that, and I think Garth has that. Since running on EOS, we have way more clarity on what everyone's job is. So we're not a huge company, so everyone has to do a few different things. But the issue was no one knew which few things they were supposed to be doing. So with the accountability chart, we're able to clearly define who is supposed to do exactly what and what their job is. It helps become a lot more predictable, and we're able to strategize and plan for the next 30, 60, 90, 365 days way more efficiently than we were before, rather than just, hey, let's throw a number up the wall, we want to do that in the next year. The L10, I think, has been big for us, because with meetings, much like with planning, we were just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what stuck. Having that one concise L10 in the middle of the week for us has really streamlined our meeting process. If you're looking at EOS and you're wondering if you should do it, you should absolutely do it. I do think you need to be the right person for it. I don't think there's a wrong company for EOS, but I think you need to be in the right mindset to be willing to absorb all of the information. You have to understand that you're not right all the time, and EOS can help you become a little more self-aware.